Hey, it's Rick from 28mm RPG. I'm just going to go over how I do my notes for improv in a 4D roleplay session. So, first off, we always have our session 0. So, most of the prep is done during session 0, but you do need your own little notes to help you improv along the way. So, I've divided the my notes, and I usually just have like a book like this, to a bullet journal kind of thing. So you go ahead and get yourself one of these so you can take it to any session and you'll have everything right there. And you need to divide it into 4 different sections, and I have them listed here 1, 2, 3, 4 as location buds, NPCs, rewards, and unused pushes. Feel free to go ahead and read all this stuff here if you want. Put it on pause and just to get a gist of how I do this, because I don't want to be telling you everything that's written here. Just read it, and I'm just giving you basically the cliff notes as we go through this. So your 4 things that you need: location buds, NPCs, rewards, and unused pushes. They are in order. I put them in order in the book that way because the first thing you're going to do is describe the region or area. So a location bud will give you words to kind of key in on and pick up on. The second one is what's in that location is going to be possibly an NPC or something like that. This can be monsters, organizations, all that kind of stuff. Your rewards are what basically drop as loot or that you have in the area for the players to collect up. This will be like treasures, that sort of stuff. Unused pushes. Now, usually I will have a bunch of pushes already kind of ready to go after our session 0, because I write down a bunch of notes and get some ideas and start getting things, all the gears happening in my brain, and I start doing some figuring out what the motives of the NPCs are and what their plans are. And once you know that, you basically know how to run your session. Like really, this is the 4 things here is all you're going to really need. So let's go through each one of them one at a time. And of course, the first one is a location buds. So this is how I design my notes. I go ahead and use a full spread across the 2 pages, and I go ahead and write down locations. So this will be for taverns, forests, cities, that sort of stuff. You can do location buds for even more focused kind of things. They can be like more intricate locations. Like, for instance, I have it written down here, a tavern. A tavern's kind of like a centralized location. You can write down, different stuff for the tavern and stuff. In this situation, I go with like a broad spectrum, like a desert location. So in the location, you're going to have little notes here like sand dunes, oasis, salt flats, stuff that you normally wouldn't bring up in your head, but you can write stuff down. Go use AI. Use I use Aria out of the Opera browser, and I just say, Aria, give me a list of 20 interesting locations in a desert, and it will go ahead and start propagating all these interesting locations that it would find in a desert. And this is some of the stuff it hucked out for me. So I just, write down the little notes, and you keep on writing more notes as you start, as you're developing more games along the way. You're going to be coming up with newer ideas of what would be in that desert. Then you watch videos on what's in desert locations. You'll be able to go ahead and fill in this with, hundreds, if you want, different little items that you would find in the desert. The senses in the center here, the senses are basically things to key in on, not for telling your players what they smell, what they taste, what they feel, you or hear. you want senses in a way that you can say dust and dry, and it'll evoke that kind of feeling on the character, so on the player's character. So the player will be able to key in on these things and bring up, oh yeah, pollen and stuff like that. If his character is susceptible to pollen, and he may want to react that way, sneezing and wheezing and that sort of stuff. If he's a stronger character, you wouldn't have that. So it helps develop how the characters react and play in the game. Cool things here is stuff that you wouldn't like maybe normally find in the desert. It's kind of like these little Easter eggs that you would find, and stuff that creatures, that sort of thing. I would put that stuff in here. Temples, ruins, things like that, that maybe you don't normally find, but it's kind of a bonus to have it there. It's just a cool thing. It's a cool location that you can go ahead and emphasize more. Now, I'll also have little focus locations like designed exactly like this one here, where it's like I'll go ahead and make one for temple ruins. Okay, so then I'll have a list of things that you would find in the temple ruin, senses that would relate to that, and then of cool things that you would find in the temple. You can see stuff like here, like I have craters listed here, and I got like little options and brackets. So the craters could be volcanic, meteor, test site, that sort of thing. It's up to you how you want to make these notes, but I do it this way, and it works for me. It's just to help to alleviate that fog that you might have in your head, like you're thinking the word sand dune, but you can't quite get it into your mouth. Well, seeing the word right there in front of your face in your book, you can instantly say sand dunes without thinking about what's the word for the rolling hills, on a desert location. You already got it. So that's what it's for. Just go ahead and make what's coming out of your mouth a little bit more clearer, and you have the words there that you can, bring into your eyes and into your brain, and boom, say it out of your mouth. Okay, so yeah, this is kind of like a little bit of a hack that I use. So that's location butts. So make lots of these. You can do them in alphabetical order if you want, but that kind of gets hard after a while. I just write them out, and I put and I designate it in the index. I make an index in here so I can, look up things right away. It makes it a lot easier. Or if you're if you're getting ready for a session, you might want the ribbons to go into places where the players are naturally going to start. If it's going to be a desert location, put the ribbon in there, and bam, you're ready to go. Put your ribbon in the NPC section for the first NPC that they'll probably run into. Boom, you have it right there. So voila, makes things easier. Second thing, of course, is NPCs. So you do the same thing. You make a little, you do a two-page spread. Maybe have a picture written in there or something like that. I have them as like generic NPCs or like specific NPCs. A generic NPC like this dispensable stormtrooper, you just write down basically what a stormtrooper would have. Like there's different types of stormtroopers. So naturally, they wouldn't have like a grav bike and a speeder, or they might be just on foot or whatever. You just pick items out of there, what they would have, and boom, you're going to be fine. You have the items that are on the character. You got a little vocalization of maybe a saying that they would say, stop right there, halt citizen, that sort of thing. And you would put down their traits and motives and stuff like that. So have that as part of your little entry in the book. And this is a generic one, so you can go ahead and make this a steampunk stormtrooper, or a maybe a high fantasy stormtrooper. all of this would work. They're basically using the same traits and everything. They're going to go down in one hit, basically. I go by movie, hits, basically. I look at a movie and I see how many hits does a stormtrooper take before he goes down or gets out of commission. Well, it's basically only one. Someone a little bit more stronger may take 2, 3 hits, that sort of thing. Like real important enemies, maybe 6 hits, something like that. I'd say I wouldn't go anything further than 10, unless it's like a big massive dragon or something like that. It's I equate the movie hits as how much damage is being taken by the creature from a weapon or something like that. If your weapon does massive damage, like you rolled a natural 20 or whatever, if you're D&D natural 20 plus you rolled maximum damage and that sort of stuff, take 2, 3 hits off of them. In this case, if that did that to a stormtrooper, you just basically turn him into red mist. If you do a a critical hit on him or something like that. So just make different entries for different things. Make entries for like your specific NPCs. If you have a named NPC that's going to be somebody that may show up over and over again, list down his resources and stuff like that. It's good to have this sheet ready to go when you need it. Also, list it into your index as well, so you go to the front of the book where your index is, and you can find it right away. So, voila, you have yourself your NPCs. Now, along with NPCs, there might be something that comes along like a reward. So, make little reward charts of different things. In this case, it's something simple like a shiny thing list. So I'll write down, okay, in page 45, the shiny thing list, right? Okay, boom, it's in their index like that. These are rewards, can be personal items or batches. You can make a list for stuff that you would find in a chest, for example. And you can put in magic items and stuff like that. Just list a whole bunch of stuff and just pick a few, whatever it is. If it's a big battle that happened, you want to give them more rewards. If it's pretty minor, just give them a few rewards. You have everything listed here, just pick a few things. And in case of the things in brackets, like for instance, a decorative brooch, you have choices of jade, obsidian, cat's eye, turquoise. I'm just writing down, different things that this brooch could be made of. So it gives you options and you can, once you decide on what it is, of course, write down in your session notes, which would be like a separate book where you're keeping track of stuff that the players do and all that kind of thing. Just write it down in there. The players, will know as well as they go ahead and write down their notes. And they say just use AI if you really need to. It's great for making these lists of stuff. You can tell the AI to give you a list of Dungeons and Dragons magic items that you would find in a chest, and say give me 50 entries. Boom, it'll make it for you, and it's less work for you to do. You just write it down in your book, and you have it forever. Reuse it over and over again. You have your book on your session. It's with you for life, basically. Fourth thing is all the unused pushes. I also list my current pushes that are currently ready to go. In this will change up from time to time, but there are pushes that you can reuse over and over again. Some good ideas that you might want to use in a different session using a different character or something like that. So these pushes I come up, of course, I got my session 0 ones, and the alternative ones evolve as the game goes. So as the game goes, characters are talking to each other and bringing up different things of lore and stuff that they can inject in. As I do a co-creative method of role play. So my players put in just as much as I do as a game master, as in imagination and having their ideas of who enemies are and what lies beyond that hill and everything. I let them figure out what it is that's beyond that hill sometimes. So if they have an idea, they go, "Oh, I know of a place that does this and that, has this wizard and blah blah blah," and I inject that into the game. Now there's a place that's beyond the hill that has the wizard, and he's this person that the player character has indicated living there. But I might change and twist a few things. By the time they get there, I'll have some different ideas on who this character is, and maybe they are not as friendly. Maybe they're more manipulative than the player leads on to be. I might decide that's what's going to happen. They might be a little bit harder to deal with the other players than it is with that initial character that brought him up. He might be friends with that character, with the player character, and he might kind of treat the rest of the players indifferently until he knows them better. That sort of thing. So you write down, all these different pushes that come up, and that you can add to the game. So, for example, if they're interacting with the wizard and they do something wrong to him, like they don't complete a quest, well, I'll write that down as a push that the wizard will be kind of inquiring about, the transaction made in order to make this deal. Why haven't you done this quest for me yet? That sort of thing. He might send out minions to go ahead and check up on the players, and maybe there's an invisible stalker that comes out that was conjured up by this wizard, and the invisible stalker goes ahead and hands the players a note saying what's happening with this quest or whatever. You create these pushes to go ahead and create more pressure on the players. So this could be groups of enemies, other NPC party members that are doing the same quest, only they're in a competitive kind of situation with the player character party. So there's, there might be that sort of thing going on. This is where you would put this stuff and have these things ready to go in case there's a lull in in what's happening and you want to create some more excitement, inject something. You can bring in stuff like, like natural disasters, that sort of stuff, but put them in as pushes as well. All your book is going to collect up all these ideas and you'll be reusing them over and over again. Put options in the brackets, of course, especially if you're writing down something like a natural disaster. Well, write down different types of natural disasters that could happen. Maybe it's an earthquake. Maybe it's a landslide. Maybe, it could be anything. Stuff that's occurring in the game can key on to why this would be happening. Maybe there's lots of rainfall, so therefore there may be a washout happening with the land. The stuff will be like coming down from the sides of. I've seen that. I've actually been in a situation where there's been landslides. So, and working as a security guard at the time, I had to be in very dangerous areas while people vacated their houses for a month or two on end while the land dries up. I have had that situation happen. Write those things down. If you've encountered stuff in your real life, and you want to inject it into the game, well, create it as a push. With those 4 things in your book now, with the 4 main things, location buds, NPCs, rewards, and these unused pushes, you should have everything you need to run a game pretty much out of your head and with your improv book. So that's what I have for you. Hopefully that helps you out a little bit more when you're doing improv in a 4D roleplay situation. This works very well in any other kind of game that you might have where you're doing a lot of improv, be it 1D, 2D, or 3D. This is great stuff to help you kind of keep your head in the game, and, everything's there in your book. What can I say? The book will remain with you forever, or you pass it down once you've kind of got a handle on improv, your brain might, develop, new synapses and stuff to go ahead and start doing this improv stuff without having a book, and away you go. So there, give me a thumbs up if you like this. If not, complain in the complaints department in the comment section. I prefer nasty comments to be at least 3 pages long. So make sure you put in your hours. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.